Hey going guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my garage. This video has been a long time coming and I am talking to you about my garage hoist system to get my rooftop tent off my Hilux. So if you're a weekend warrior like myself and you like the comforts of a rooftop tent, this video is for you. Because typically what that means is you've got a few different options. One is you leave your rooftop tent on, even when you're just dailying, and then you lose, good fuel economy. It's just on your car all the time. Your handling's not as great. Or you're left with trying to take it off and you got to recruit 2 or 3 boys just to lift it off, and then you got to store it somewhere. So yeah, that's what this video is about. This is an alternative solution where you can actually just lift it off and store it against the ceiling. So this video has been a long time in the making. I did allude to a system that I had to lift my rooftop tent in my Hilux build video, and a lot of you guys requested a video on that. Between now and then, I've actually moved house and I took the opportunity to create a more refined system. So I apologize for the wait, but I promise it was worth it. So yeah, let's get into it. So in this video, I'm just going to cover off how I've reinforced my ceiling to actually handle the weight. I'm going to talk about the system itself, which is a retractable ceiling storage unit from Connect Flooring. Connect Flooring are sponsoring this video. I actually reached out to them to see if they wanted to work with me, because when I saw this unit, I thought it was the perfect solution to a more permanent system that I've wanted to do. I'm going to talk about how I've adapted it to lift the rooftop tent, and I'm also going to talk a bit about the quick release brackets I've got that kind of pull the whole system together and make it like a nice seamless process each time I lower and raise the tent off the ute. So first things first, my house has a steel frame, which means I don't have really strong load-bearing joists in my ceiling, like a timber frame house might. Therefore, I've gone with some custom lengths of SHS to distribute the weight across multiple steel purlins. These are all 4.4 meters long, 40 by 40, 3mm steel. Connect Flooring do provide various anchors for timber or concrete, but I've gone with these beefy 1/2-inch U-bolts instead. And these will sit over my steel sections and pop through the ceiling for the brackets to bolt to. I'm condensing this footage down a fair bit, but this was a big case of measure many times, drill once. All the while trying to be careful to not fall through this flimsy gyprock. The easiest part of the whole install was just actually constructing the system itself. Everything bolts together pretty easily. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but it does come with instructions too if you do get stuck. With the U-bolts through the ceiling, this is when it came time to bolt the top section of the system to the ceiling. Once that was done, I could feed the cables down to attach to the platform. The cables just bolt onto each corner and then you're pretty much done. As you can see here, my corners were a little lopsided, and this is just a matter of unwinding and making sure the cable is even on both sides. So a big thanks to Connect Flooring for sponsoring this video. As I said, I actually reached out to them and they were keen to work with me to put this out there as an option for my fellow rooftop tent owners. I first saw this and I thought this was an excellent system to adapt to a rooftop tent, with the added benefit of still being able to store stuff on top. So as you can see here, this is the Connect Flooring retractable ceiling storage system. And they've actually got 2 models, a manual one, which is the one that I've got, or a remote controlled one, which just plugs into 240 volt power. They're both rated to 315 kilos, which is more than enough for any rooftop tent out there. Now, I'll still run you through how I've adapted this for my rooftop tent. However, Connect Flooring now also offer a rooftop tent attachment as an extra, so you can save yourself the hassle that I'm about to go through here. So attaching the rooftop tent was pretty straightforward. The 4 eye bolts on each corner are all M10 threads, so I just got M10 eye nuts and threaded them on. I then got several bow shackles and attached those to each eye nut. Lastly, I got 2 lengths of 2.5 meter round lifting slings. These are definitely overkill in terms of carrying capability at 2 tons each, but also pretty inexpensive. Now, if you're anything like me, you might have power cords running to your tent. Always remember to undo them, like I have here. Otherwise you might do a bit of damage to them. But yeah, once the straps all pass through, I just undo my bow shackle. Pass that through, put it back on. This is where my little M12 drill gives up. Doesn't quite have the torque to, you know, pull 100 kilos of load. If one of you guys has an M18 or a stronger drill, you guys would be fine, but I just go by hand, it's not that bad. About there. This is where I can come around, undo all the brackets. All right, real quick, I'm just going to show you the front runner quick release system. So this is one of the bracket combos, and I've got 4 of these currently on the tent. This is what bolts to your platform or your crossbar, and then this is the piece that bolts to your rooftop tent, typically along the channel. So that nut and then another one there would sit in your channel, making that nice and rigid. Basically, when this is attached to your tent, you slide it in all 4 corners, right there. This latch catches, and then you can lock it in. And then it just comes straight back out. Now for some, this might be the scary part, but if you're confident in the system, which I am, and these have weight on them, just give it a bit of a push, it'll come loose. There we go. It's off the tent. It's off the ute, I should say. And then we lift it up. And I've got my fuel economy back. Now to put the tent back on, it's pretty much the same, just in reverse. Because I've got my awning bolted to my tent, it means it doesn't hang quite perfectly level. So once I've lowered it, it just requires a bit of guiding and massaging until I've lined up all the quick release brackets. From there, it's just a matter of giving it a good shove into place. Then when I do close all the latches, the tent gets locked into place. You may ask, how secure are the latches? To that I say, they're as secure as the bolts that you're using. My tent hasn't budged on all the trips I've been on, some of which have been quite rough, and I've been rocking this setup for well over a year. Anyway, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it and got some ideas for your own setup. We're still not a huge channel by any means, so a like, comment, or a subscription goes a long way for us. Again, thanks to Connect Flooring for working with me. If you're interested in one of these units, I've got links in the description. And as always, if you've got any questions, by all means, post it down below.